This is Hustler Rip Rogers. Today, I'm going to tell you some Randy Savage stories. We go back to the late 70s and then we'll just go from there and see what happens. But I'm here at Lila's studio, sitting here by myself, saying, what am I going to do? So I'm going to tell you some little Randy Savage stories. Okay. Now, this is 1978. I'm living in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm wrestling with the legendary Nick Gulas, Nashville Wrestling. Well, who was there? Well, the Mexican Angel, Kenny Lucas, Tom Ernesto was the booker. Randy Savage was there. I was there as the infamous Disco Kid. When I was a Disco Kid, I'd be going to the matches and having the regular towns such as Chattanooga and Nashville and Huntsville, and would come to the ring with my boom box, or they'd be playing music. I was one of the few guys that had music then. I know after the Freebird saw me, that's when the Freebird started using music. But anyway, Randy, I would do my little half-ass disco dance when I was working for Nick Gulas as the inevitable Disco Kid. Randy was like my mentor, and he'd got me booked in there after the Maritimes. And when I went in there, I was staying with Mickey Poole. Now, Mickey Poole was a manager who worked for Nick Gulas in Bill, but Mickey's apartment on fire got caught on fire, and he got out of there, and I got out of there. So what happened was I didn't have hardly any money because of Nick Gulas. I was making this much money. I was just trying to get experience and trying. So I was basically in my car a lot, my beat up Pinto. Randy, he was intrigued by my little disco dance. And what I would do this sort of like this little steps called the Fort Lauderdale Shuffle. So Randy wanted me to come over and teach him and his girlfriend at the time of how to do the Fort Lauderdale Shuffle. So now, right before I did that, I had to negotiate a place to stay. So what I was doing was I was staying outside Randy's door at night, and I would sleep on the floor, put a blanket over me, and there would be a little bit of heat coming out of the underneath the door. But I'd spend the night there. If I had to pee, I'd have a cup from like a Circle K or whatever. But it wasn't Circle K then. But I had the big thing where I'd have to pee, and then in the morning I'd dump it out. So I said, okay. So I went in there and I said, put a little music on now. So I go through the steps by myself. Boom. I said, no, I have to show you how to do this now. So I grabbed his girlfriend. So I have to hold her hands because I'm doing the steps, this and that. 1, 2, 3, pivot and kick and kick, walk, or whatever the hell it was. I can still do it, but I don't need the official way to do it because I went to actually dance school to learn that stuff. So Randy, so I grab his girl's hands and then you turn them over and this and that. Randy says, "Up, no contact."
And I don't care if it's Rip Rogers.
I said, "Oh, okay. Well, then I guess you teach her then." And he just looked at me. I said, "Well, you come here then." So I grabbed him in an effeminate way. So I started doing the tricks and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and step, whack, back, walk. All of a sudden, Randy said, "Time out.
Rogers or Larry, it doesn't matter.
None of that." I said, "Okay." So in other words, you want to learn the Fort Lauderdale Shuffle. I can't touch your girl to show her, and you don't want to touch me because you're obviously sexually scared of me or whatever, or you're liking it too much. So needless to say, when I went to Randy's apartment that day, he was wanting to learn that Fort Lauderdale Shuffle so bad. His girlfriend didn't get to learn it. He didn't get to learn it. And I just sort of chuckled and left the gym, come on back, knowing that later on at that night, since Randy had a little bit of a jealous issue, that I wouldn't be able to, that I'd be sleeping outside the door with a blanket on top of me. So that was a short Randy Savage stories about him wanting to learn the Fort Lauderdale Shuffle. Unfortunately, we didn't learn it that day. As a matter of fact, we never learned it, but what the hell, that girl didn't last long there anyway. So anyway, that's Wrestling with Rip Rogers, stories about Randy Savage. Watch. I said, watch. Watch this next video that's coming up on your screen. Remember now, watch it.
that I can't get this shit closed.